Shauna, let's start by looking back on Sunday, a 1-0 victory against Wrexham, which was our first win against them in more than 3 years. Was there a particular aspect of that game that pleased you the most?
I think obviously for us to get the 3 points is what was most pleasing, but um, we wish it was probably more goals than just the one. But for us at this stage, the fact that we're able to still make sure we found a way to win is what we're looking for. And on Sunday we did that in the first half, and there were plenty of chances that we could have taken and we didn't. But that's something that we can go away and work on. But for us, the fact that we've been able to beat them at home for the first time this season, and obviously for the first time in 3 years, is something that we're happy with for sure.
A number of players put in great performances, but one in particular, Lexi Jones, she was chosen as the Henstone Distillery Player of the Match. Do you think that was her best performance so far in a TNS shirt?
Absolutely, and everyone that I've spoken to since the game has completely agreed as well. Like Lex is still so young and she's got a long way to come, but her performance on Sunday was so dominant, and you wouldn't think she's as young as she is, and it's her first season with us, and especially in the league as well. So the way that she just played carefree and just dominated her own 1v1 battles, and everything that she did with composure and calmness, which it's something that we've been trying to help her with, but ultimately she was the one that managed to put in that performance in a local derby, and the only way is up now for Lexi. She's just going to maintain that as we move forward into the future games.
Once again, we had two players picked in the Genera Adrian League's Team of the Week. Lexi was one of them, of course. Tiggy Webb the other. She was another player who stood out on Sunday.
Yeah, and I spoke about it on Sunday as well, especially with the girls. When when players stand out for the way that they perform on the ball, but also off the ball, it's important to give them that recognition. And Tiggy was that security at the back that we needed, and she has been for weeks. But obviously Sunday, she stood out even more so for the fact that every time they got through, she was there, and she stopped it from being a possibility. And similar to Lexi, calm, composed, dominant, and those are words that we're really happy with when we're seeing our players do that. So it's a credit to both of them to get in Team of the Week, and I'd have been shocked if they weren't. So yeah, really happy for them.
Well, there's no time to rest on the laurels, of course. Back in action this Sunday, we travel to bottom of the league, Cardiff Met, and after 4 wins in a row, it's important that no complacency starts to creep in.
Of course, and that's something we've already started to speak about as a staffing team. But most importantly, it's the environment that we're creating now this week to make sure, off the back of the big win at the weekend against Wrexham, we don't become complacent, and we make sure every single player within the squad is ready to go and fight for 3 points, because it will be a fight. Every time we've gone to Cardiff away, it's been tough. It's never an easy game when you go there, and it's a credit to them that they've always caused us so many problems. So just because their record at the moment is what it is, it doesn't mean it's a game that we can just brush past and focus on the one the week after. We're taking every week as it comes, and this game is just as important and just as challenging as Sunday was against Wrexham.
Yeah, Cardiff Met, of course, are the only team in the Adrian Premier we haven't faced yet this season. They'll need points for their own reasons, their relegation battle, of course. So this is, as you say, going to be a very tough game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone can see how difficult and strong teams are now this season. There's not a single team that you'll come up against that you're guaranteed 3 points. And not that that used to be the case, but I think it's something that you go into some games a lot more confident than the others. And regardless of their current record, it's still a game that we need to be heavily mindful of. And as long as we do what we do right, I think it's a game that we should come away with 3 points comfortably. But there's still a 90-minute game that stands in the way of that first.
It's a big week in particular for one player, Caitlin Chapman. She's away with the Gibraltar national side. Well done to her, of course. What does that say, though, about the work that's going on here at the New Saints, that national teams are starting to take a look at our players?
Yeah, it's huge. And obviously, Caitlin's been working hard at TNS for years. And it's not just the last 6 months that I've been here that's got her there. It's all the hard work that she's been doing before that as well. And obviously she's got the support of Russ, her agent, and people around her in that sense. So she's got a good support network around her, and the fact that she's been given that recognition is something that she deserves. And we're incredibly proud of the achievement that she's got to get called up. But even more so, we're looking forward to seeing how well she does when she's out there, and no doubt she'll go and impress, and she'll reap the rewards of that when she comes back to us at club, but also in the future when she gets further call-ups as well.
Since our last press conference, we've had the draw for the quarter-final of the Bute Energy Welsh Cup. It'll be a trip to Britain Ferry Farwell in February. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, I mean, any game's going to be really tough at this stage, and there's a lot to fight for. Obviously, we've been in that position before, being in a quarter final, and we got to the semi final last year. So it's one that we're definitely mindful of, that we do want to achieve what we did achieve last year in getting to a semi final at a minimum, but for them it's something new and they've got nothing to lose. So it's going to be a tough game overall, and especially with how they prepped for us when we had them at home. It was an incredibly tough game, and it's one that we'll be more than ready for this time, having already played them once.
We've already mentioned Caitlin's absence there, of course, but what's the general injury and availability situation ahead of the trip to the capital on Sunday?
Yeah, we're starting to look more positive now, which is good for the squad and good for players that they're starting to come back now. And we've got a couple more that are back in contact training this week, so they'll be eligible for Sunday, which is good for them. Obviously, it gives me a little bit of a headache, but it's one that I'm happy to have because the more players we have fit and ready and available, I think that the more competition it creates, and naturally with that, performances then increase as well. So we're glad to have some players returning on Sunday, and we're looking forward to using them as well.